Alright boys, welcome back. So Queen HEL is the newest festival character coming to RAGNAROK Global, not tomorrow. For some weird reason, JP got this update one day early, and for Global, you imagine they follow the same pattern. But no, they did the exact opposite and actually releasing the update one day late than our usual Tuesday update. So I do believe that actual patch notes and everything's coming along is going to be dropping on Wednesday, which is obviously one day later. So it just means JP had this character for a week and one day by the time we get it on Global, which is definitely very, very weird. So not too sure why it's happening. People are realizing that it's because there's a JP holiday or like some Korean holiday right now, and the scheduling is all mixed up, but that seems to be the case. If you go towards the hero buff section, you can see here, this posted a few days ago actually, and I guess people didn't really miss it or didn't understand it too much because the time zones are always a problem, but it does say here a special hero will be added after the 3rd of October update maintenance, which is still tomorrow, but because of the time zones, I think it's tomorrow, but for Europe, for example, will be on the actual 4th because Americans get it late at night, so it's still technically the 3rd for them, I believe is what it is. But yeah, once again, normally if they were doing the actual update tomorrow, they would have dropped in the patch notes. We have gone to dev notes, which is kind of interesting a little bit. Not really the main part of the video here, and we don't really care too much about it, but they do say here in the Ragnarok timeline we're heading towards the end of the story. There's what, 5 more chapters left, and as more influential heroes make their appearance in line, we plan to release more actual festivals. So you have confirmed more Ragnarok festivals. Yeah, okay. To be fair, boys, I don't mind getting a full Ragnarok festival. I expect her to be a Ragnarok festival before we even got a Ragnarok festival. So, I don't mind her getting it. Not too sure who else could be it. Fenrir doesn't really serve to be one at this moment. Loki, whoever he actually turns out to be, definitely not Boulder. I mean, people are definitely more hyped for him, but definitely not. Odin? I don't know what they're going to do, man, but I'm looking forward to the story and seeing some new characters. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to quickly go through HEL's actual characters and a little mini Shuji sum. We'll do it more in-depth on tomorrow, Mike, and my usual setup and my usual guide here. But if you haven't seen HEL's banner, it's really not that great. I mean, I thought it was actually good when I first saw it. It still kind of is, and this is the reason why. I always tell people, if you're free to play, only summon on festivals. So ideally, if you are a free to play person or, you know, a casual, then you typically don't summon on the Ragnarok banners or even the Monty Bar characters, right? So for example, you probably should have skipped here, even though the character is very good, but he came out right after obviously Demon King. No, it was Barn, right? So like, you should have summoned for Barn, and at that point you probably skipped here. You probably skipped obviously Summer Frey as well. You definitely skipped Tristan. You probably skipped Miguel, despite her being a step up, I believe it was, and you may have skipped Frey when she came out. So you typically, if you are free to play, you're skipping these Ragnarok banners and going in favor of actually summoning on obviously the actual festival banners. But now this is a festival banner with the actual Ragnarok characters on the banner, so you're now getting a 2 for 1 basically. You now can summon for the new actual festival character, which is what you should always do, especially this year since, well, it is a light and dark character. Those characters are very rare and hard to get. For example, I skipped Mael in January, I think it was, when he came out, or like March, and he's not returned yet, and probably won't return to the end of the year. So yeah, if you skip Queen HEL now, you're probably not going to get her. Earliest is actually next year March, so it's going to be a very long time until you get her again. But do you need her? Honestly, not really. I mean, she's not going to be like a PvE gold. You can definitely use her in Heroes Arena, and especially for this month. But unless you plan to use Ragnarok characters and also, you know, unknowns collabs, then you can easily skip this character. I mean, if you're someone who's been using demons, she adds nothing really to your account other than just get a character and hopefully using it in obviously, you know, unknown teams for obviously Heroes Arena. That's basically it, right? I mean, once again, other than that, the banner is really good if you are someone who is at a certain point in the game where you need to get all these characters. So, for example, myself, I need to get Miguelda, I need more dupes for Freya, I need to get more dupes for Barn. Not really need, but you know, I want to. And then of course, get more Freyas, get Tristan for the first time, get more dupes for obviously Tyr, get obviously Summer Frey as well. Other than that, the festivals are actually really bad. I mean, I know there's a possibility of these 4 festivals or 5 becoming LRs. you know, if they become LR, you get them when you get an LR, right? But yeah, they're not really sort of the characters. If you want them, then cool, it's nice. But generally speaking, this is a banner where if you need the multiple battle characters, like that's as simple as that, right? If you want to get tier. But the thing is though, because there's so many characters on the banner, with obviously some Merlin, with Skadi and Ragnarok Bon, OG Miguelda, Diana, it's like there's so many bad fillers in a way that it kind of dilutes the pool a little bit. So while there are some special treats in here, like obviously Tyr getting Tristan, Freyas, all the Freyas basically, the rate is still quite low. And I've watched a few summons now from other YouTubers and people online where they do a full rotation, maybe get a few copies of obviously HEL, which is obviously very nice, but they don't get any Tyrs, any Freyas, any Tristans, because the rate is so low you may not get it. So yeah, be very wary when you go to this banner. I mean, I'm an unknown main, I love unknowns, and I'm debating skipping. Honestly, I'm not too sure. We do know a Halloween Merlin is coming literally right after this banner in 2 weeks time. Bear in mind, this banner does last a month, so you have a month to save. And we are going to be getting, I believe, 3 to 3 gems just by logging in and doing your free summons and doing your tickets, of course. So you are going to get, your typical round of actual gems you get for every festival lineup. But personally, myself, I'm probably going to wait and see what the new Merlin does, because it's Merlin. I actually prefer her than obviously HEL, sorry, and to see what she does. And if not, I might wait until the end of the actual month to see if we get a collaboration. However, I feel like the collaboration may be replaced by an actual OC event, and if they drop Subnak, who's an unknown or even a human, I might go for her as well. So once again, my free to play advice, and probably what I will be doing is just waiting to see what comes next. And then if a collaboration comes and you don't like the collaboration, or we get an OC banner, you don't like the OC banner, then you can summon literally on the last day and see if it's actually worth getting her. And maybe the meta develops a little bit till we see if she's actually important or not. But generally, if you don't have Tyr, I don't think she's worth using. I don't know if you can even use her, to be fair. Obviously, if you don't have Tyr, it's still pretty recommended summon this banner, because he is he might be the best character in the game. He's that crazy. Alright, so once again, we're doing more detail tomorrow, but here's quickly a skill sheet of what she does a little bit. She's a pretty straightforward character in terms of like what she does. Her passive is just going to apply basically 5 corrosions. That increases her own stats and also bypasses damage cap, which is obviously a good thing and probably why she's obviously very good right now. But every single time she gets a source of pain, she can increase her own stats, of course, but also makes her skill 1 do a 12% attack rate stat increase for every actual pain of sources. I think max up to 5 times. So you're getting, 12 times 5 attack rate stats, which is yeah, insane. I mean, generally this skill is doing insane numbers. Like if you're using on a tier team, especially if his crit lower as well, with his berserk as well, like no one is surviving a tier 2, right? Honestly, I would say she's very much like Infinity Merlin, where each obviously source of pain or elements, you're getting more actual stat increases. She literally does the exact same thing, but obviously she's a bit more consistent because you're not getting that stupid crit chance lower. And also she's a single target skill, which means she can do more focused damage. So literally she is just a better version of Summer or Infinity Merlin. She does have some support a little bit on the team, which is this skill here in a tier 1. She's going to lower the crit chance by 20% or 5%. I think so. And also lower their crit damage as well, which is, yeah, so it's 30 on this one, 50, and then also 80. I mean, to be fair, boys, pair her up with Nanish in the sub slot with the crit chance defense, with the actual, resistance as well. Like, it's already a struggle, the actual unknown team, but with this as well, it's going to make it even more tankier. Granted, this is probably going to be better against other HELs if you're going to work against a mirror match, and also I guess Pug Melee, if you can somehow get this on before he enters True Magic, it'll be pretty good too. And then I guess the ultimate is a pretty simple ultimate. All it does is actually increases her damage dealt by 10% or up to 50, I believe it is, and also increase the damage they take by the equivalent amount that you increase your own by. But the difference is that she does have a passive on the ultimate that even if you don't use the ultimate, it still affects the character and the actual team. So very much like obviously Ultimate Escanor, where even if you don't ult, you still get the final flames. She's doing the same thing, I believe it is, where she gives her actual her team ally unknowns or Ragnarok's actual immunity when they die. So yeah, this is where the support comes in, and this is where she's gonna make her last a bit longer. Essentially at 1/6, I think she'll get replaced very, very quickly as we get more unknowns and more support for unknowns that happens every month basically. But going forward, especially with more Ragnarok festivals, if you don't get this character 6/6, then I don't think she's going to be as much usable in the future. Like, if we get 4, she is gone and she's 6/6. That's the way I see it. So, boys, thank you for watching today's video. Hopefully, we get the update soon. Or maybe it does drop tomorrow. Who knows? But the way it's going right now, it is looking like it's going to be dropping on a Wednesday morning for our EU players. Or maybe NA, I don't know time zones. But boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.